Hi, I'm Nick Shell, and if you're watching this video, which I assume you are, I also assume that you watch me perform my song, Making Up for Lost Time. And if you somehow haven't, despite watching this video, just look there, there's a link and you can watch me perform my song, Making Up for Lost Time. It is my tradition to always make a video to explain what inspired me to write every new song that I write. And I'll go ahead and go through the lyrics here, but I want to say that if I were to estimate how many new songs I've written this year alone in 2020, I mean, I think we're creeping on 24 at this point. And you can, if you've been keeping up with them, you can see some overall themes and things that make them unique to me. And I wrote down why this song I feel is one of the most Nick Shell songs that I've written and performed on here. But I'm very strict about keeping it right around the 3-minute mark. I don't want to stray too beyond that. I want it to be easy to digest. Almost all my songs revolve around the theme of death, as this one definitely does. This one also has a spiritual aspect of it. There's references to Christianity. The way I write songs, most of them start with the chorus, and then I do the verses in between. Like the song Mrs. Robinson by Simon and Garfunkel, or Turn, Turn, Turn by the Byrds. That's the format that I like to do. I also like to incorporate some power chords because granted I was learning to play guitar during the 90s when power chords were very important and relevant. So you'll notice power chords in that song. And then also another thing I love to do is have two different keys in one key. Instead of it being obviously one key, I like to have half the chords from one key and half from another and try to make that work. I love that dynamic aspect of it. So those are some things specifically that make this so typical of a song that I would write. So go ahead and get into this. I want to say too, one more thing, is that this is the first song I've ever written that I'm aware of that I didn't actually use the guitar to write the melody. I mean, on my phone, I remember a couple weeks ago, I was at my parents' house, so I was packing up, getting ready to come back to Tennessee, and I thought, that would be a great idea for song. So I hit record. I survived another night of not dying in my sleep. Like I just made up the line and the melody. And then every time I had a new thought for the song, I would just hit record on my phone. And after I got all those pieces, I was able to figure out what key this is supposed to be and what tempo and all that on the guitar. So I wrote it in my head first, and I've never done that, and I don't know that I ever will do it again. But I wanted to write a song that reflects on the fact that as a society, there's the concept of making up for lost time. With all the delays that COVID has done. For example, even for me in my job, I was put on furlough for like a month and a half, 2 months. And so since then, it's like we're catching up from that. But I think that this goes beyond just COVID and beyond the year 2020. It has a lot to do with life philosophy, and this is very much a sequel to many other songs I've written too, as far as the concept of truly being able to live in the moment. So I wanted to expand on that. And ultimately too, I think another thing that inspired this song was Tom Petty. Time to Move On. He has a song that I've covered here on this channel. And then also the song Sitting by Cat Stevens, which is sort of that concept that when you're falling asleep, it's the closest you are to death, which we could even say that Enter Sandman by Metallica, same concept. I wanted to take all that and put it in a song. So here we go, here's the words. I'm making up for lost time, like I'm waking up for the last time. Taking notes from the past, I'm waking up, making up for lost time. And as I wrote the chorus, it's important to me, another attribute of my song is I don't like to rhyme too much. I want to rhyme just enough, but if I can have do some plays on words, have some alliteration, that sort of thing, then that's what I like to do too. So I'm making up for lost time, like I'm waking up for the last time. It almost seems like I said the same thing twice, but I didn't. Taking notes from the past, I'm waking up, making up for lost time. So even extending that past I'm. Moving on to the verse, I survived another night of not dying in my sleep. Relieved again, I didn't wake up in the wrong religion's hell. A lot of the songs I've written this year were it ended up just being lines in a verse, but they were intended to be their own song. I was intending to write a song called Hell, or even Muslim Hell. I wanted to explore the concept of you, as a person of faith, you choose your religion, you choose your faith, and you can't know until it's too late and you're dead. But ultimately, what if you woke up in the wrong religion's hell? They're not supposed to be right. How I ended up in their hell? I did the wrong things or whatever it is. So that was sort of kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing, but at the same time, I thought it was important to say that. I mean, every day I wake up, I do think, wow, that's another time I didn't die in my sleep. And that kicked in about 10 years ago when my son was born. Every time, I think because I feel so much more responsible as a human being to survive and to be alive. And so that's sort of how I perceive it as I'm falling asleep every single night. That's where that comes from. I go on to say, Lord, have mercy on my soul. Jesus, I'm your fool, which is a reference to the Bible where it talks, Paul talks about being fools for the sake of Christ. Forgive me for my unbelief, which is another reference to the Bible that's said in there. But you're still the truth I choose. I know that I don't have as much faith as I need or want, but still, I am believing, I am choosing to believe in this version of truth, which is Christianity, as it relates to life and death itself. And then that pre-chorus, I just keep living, that clock is ticking, just keep living is all I know. Because ultimately, you don't have control over this, so you do the best you can to serve others and to make every moment count. And then moving on to the second verse, life itself is a distraction from the things that matter most. This actually was inspired by an episode of Saved by the Bell, where Zach Morris said something like, school's not that bad. Too bad classes get in the way. And that's how I feel about life. Like, you can try so hard to live in the moment and do everything you can and spend time with people around you, but there's so many responsibilities in life that distract you from focusing on what matters. And so then the next line, sometimes you have to see a photo to remember what you know. That's how it is for me a lot of times, when I can look at a photo and think, wow, things were good, and look who was in that picture. Look at the people who showed up, which is the next line. Take a look around you at the people who show up. They are worthy of your time and worthy of your love. One of the things I talk about a lot is how you have control over who you give emotional control over your life. Who are you going to allow to hurt you? Well, you get to decide that. Everybody in the free world, people on the internet, or just the people who show up in your life and care about you. And now that I'm almost 40, I can look back at a life and I can think, here are all the people who showed up. These are the people who are worthy of my time and my love. They love me. They prove it by showing up. And those are the people we should praise in our life. Those are the people who are living our lives with us. So that's all the words to the song. I hope you enjoy it. I know I've definitely enjoyed writing it. Perhaps it's my favorite song I've ever written. It means that much to me. I'd love to hear what you have to say about the song right here in the comments.